Now, my colleague and senior editor, Uday Pratap Singh, has spoken to the director of Polish Institute of International Affairs, Jaroslaw Cwiek-Karpowicz. The India-Poland bilateral ties, the EU trade deal, the ongoing Middle East conflict, and the rising tensions over the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. All this and more at the Raisina Dialogue being held in India's capital, New Delhi. Let's take a look.
Well, we have with us now Jaroslaw Cwiek-Karpowicz, who, of course, is director of the International Institute of Polish Affairs. Thank you very much for speaking with us on the sidelines of Raisina Dialogue 2026. Let me begin by asking you, firstly, welcome to India. And let me begin by asking you about the relations between India and Poland currently. Where do you see them headed?
Frankly speaking, it's my first time here during the Raisina conference. I'm very much impressed by the level of speakers, of high-level politicians who decided to come to New Delhi and to talk about global issue. I think Poland is a very dynamic country, quite similar to India. Now we are among 20 biggest world economies, and it's clear for us that we need more channels with India, more instruments to show Indian public opinion and Indian policymakers that Poland is a very important European country, that we are one of the biggest EU member states, and especially now the free trade agreement, which was just concluded between India and EU, may profit our bilateral relations. Economic cooperation and trade volume is not very high between Poland and India, and I think it's the high time to change this situation and to make Indian products more attractive on Polish markets and also Polish products on Indian markets.
I was just going to ask you that about the EU free trade agreement. Do you believe that is going to lead to closer ties between our countries? Also, we hope for its early implementation. The deal has been signed. It has to now get approval from all EU states and then hopefully be implemented.
Yes, hopefully at the end of this year, the whole process will be concluded. It's a process of implementation, but also European Commission has to do its work. It's a very complex agreement, so that's why we need some time. Definitely, the first benefit is the reduction of tariffs. Now they are very high, and we really count on lower tariffs. But not only, I think that investments are very important. So far, Poland invested in India in a few branches of Indian market, and I hope that thanks to this trade agreement, Polish investors would be much more encouraged to invest, to have trust to Indian partners.
What is the position of Poland now on the Middle East conflict? We've seen varied positions in Europe as well. What do you make of that? From, of course, certain countries backing the US action to certain other countries cautioning the US for starting a conflict in this manner.
I mean, for Poland, the most important is to stop war in Ukraine, and Iran is one of the biggest supporter of Russia's aggression war in Ukraine. Iranian drones are widely used by Russian army. So in this regard, we want to stop this conflict. However, Poland is trying to fulfill the mainstream of European Union and to stop also the conflict between United States, Israel and Iran, because probably with time and this US-Israeli attacks and Iranian response, there will be more and more civilian casualties. So that's why we plead to both sides to stop fighting, to stop the conflict. However, we see that the problem with Iranian nuclear program is a big issue. Also, it's very difficult for India to accept this program in Iran. So that's why definitely we would like to introduce diplomatic measures, not just military action.
Diplomatic measures are needed, but do you see a prolonged conflict? What is your analysis? Do you see the conflict getting bigger with each passing day, or you believe that there could be an end perhaps in a week's time?
I really hope that it will end in the week's time, because there is no arguments for U.S. and Israeli military forces to change the nature of this operation and just to launch the land operation. I think that each aerial operation has some limits, and probably we will also face.
Was the regime change important? Do you believe it was needed?
I do not believe that that is possible in Iran to change the regime. There is a huge consolidation of society and Iranian leadership. So I personally do not believe in regime change.
And finally, what about oil prices? Is that a concern that oil prices could rise, that energy supply and security could be affected as well with a prolonged conflict?
Of course, for Poland, crude oil coming from Saudi Arabia is now more than 40%. So with this conflict, each import of oil from Middle East to Europe or to India is under the question mark. So that's why I think that Poland and India has its role to coordinate our policy. Poland is a member of International Energy Agency, a group of many countries who import oil from different parts of the world, and India is also interested in joining this club. So that's why I think this is one of the solutions to coordinate countries who has no own crude oil, and unfortunately they have to import crude oil from another part of the world. For example, we may control our level of our oil reserves, and in this regard there's lots of things where India and Poland may coordinate and cooperate much more closer than before.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Journalist Dinesh Uday Pratap Singh in Delhi, NewsX.
That's all we have time for. Keep watching NewsX World for more news updates.